Ladies and gentlemen, recently concluded humanitarian operation witnessed and proved the importance of C4I concept, where communication was an integral part throughout in exercising command and control, gathering information and executing missions. Primary means of communication was radio, and CDMA, known as Code Division Multiple Access Technology 2, was widely used at all levels of command as an alternative. Provision of data communication down to division level for the first time was much effective for higher commanders to share real-time information for planning. Electronic warfare activities were optimally utilized in controlling electromagnetic spectrum in favor of security forces, both in communication and non-communication aspects. Let me now enlighten you on the methods of communication and other facilities we provided during the entire humanitarian operation. In meeting tactical radio requirement, PRC 1077 transferred VHF low-band non-secure radios and PRM 4515 Cougar VHF high-band secure radios were provided down to the infantry company level. In addition to them, new equipment such as PRC 9600 VHF low-band radio and Aselsan VHF high-band secure radios were also introduced. Secure and non-secure commercial radios too were used, especially in newly liberated areas when conducting re-operations. A VHF high-band radio network was established as an early warning system to coordinate the air defense activities. The radio networks of Special Operation Forces were enhanced with HF radios and satellite phones to carry out long-range patrols. It was necessary to expand the Army trunk communication system to establish full duplex communication accessibility from the Army headquarters to formation headquarters, sometimes with the battalions as well. As the operation progressed, CDMA technology was introduced to meet the increasing trunk communication requirement. Antenna towers above 100 feet in height were erected with underground communication bunkers to install the equipment. Using this microwave network, commander of the army and field commanders were provided with the facility to observe live action obtained from the unmanned aerial vehicles of the Sri Lanka.
Today, Sri Lankan forces achieved a tremendous success in their humanitarian operation as they have been able to rescue over 35,000 civilians from the terrorist grip. This video footage shows how the terrorists hold a large group of civilians at gunpoint to stop them crossing over to the cleared area.
GSM facilities were also provided, lately utilizing the same infrastructure. It was a challenging task to provide electronic warfare support whilst ensuring effective control of the electromagnetic spectrum. Maximum possible number of direction finders were deployed to intercept LTT radio transmissions and plot the targets. Locally manufactured man-packed bomb jammers were utilized to nullify enemy IEDs with remote control features. Remote engagement devices too were manufactured in support of long-range patrol missions. VHF-UHF jammers were deployed in vital areas to disrupt enemy communication networks. Battlefield surveillance radars and coastal surveillance radars were deployed along the forward defense lines and coastal belt to detect LTT infiltration, exfiltration, and boat movements. Direction finders and radars were also employed on mobile mode to meet any sudden requirement. This was solely dependent on generators as no national grid electricity was available in almost all areas. Hence, additional generators and solar panels were provided to recharge batteries and to function the command and control centers. It was mandatory to maintain the workability of communication systems used in multiple axes all the time. Hence, the productivity of field workshops was enhanced with rapid supply of spare parts, accessories, and the technical staff. As the operation progressed, medium workshops were also introduced at centralized locations to enhance the repair capability. Various challenges and lessons could be listed in relation to the principles of communication as shown on the screen. Deviating from the basic principle, communication was provided even down to 2 or 3 levels of command to obtain real-time battle picture. Although the integration of communication is very important, high operational tempo limited the accomplishment, thus minimizing optimum results at times. Close coordination and battlefield awareness on latest situations facilitated redeployment of signal units in multiple fronts while maintaining the battle tempo. Erection of semi-permanent and permanent antenna masts facilitated other commercial service providers to install their equipment on army towers at the time of need. This was further enhanced with the timely introduction of communication infrastructure development projects for commercial service providers within the newly liberated areas. Provision of UAV live feeds to the Army headquarters as well as the divisional headquarters was very much effective for timely and correctly decision making. Issuing of dedicated repeaters for battalion command nets facilitated rapid deployment of troops whilst ensuring uninterrupted and reliable communication at all levels. Shifting of field workshops from location to location without electricity was a tedious task. At times, generators had to be operated inside pits to minimize sound being propagated, thus resulting in extensive heating effects. Provision of CDMA telephone facilities was the key in facilitating commanders at all levels with considerably secure and interactive full duplex communication. Provision of GSM system minimized the traffic and facilitated the welfare of soldiers. Timely calibration and simulated accuracy tests for direction finding and radar equipment facilitated precise target plotting throughout. Cannibalizing of out-of-order ratios and selective redistribution of available equipment amongst battalions facilitated to meet increasing demands without delay. Commercial telecommunication coverage for the resettled civilians and state and private sector functioning in newly liberated areas was swiftly provided with the use of Army microwave communication backbone which was developed for the humanitarian operation. Selective deployment of newly introduced radios in a limited geographical area facilitated quick familiarization and fault rectification. EW activities were mainly restricted to electronic support measures until the enemy was confined into a comparatively smaller geographical area. But selective jamming reinforced the counter-bombardment efforts as and when required. Rapid sharing of signal intelligence was achieved by interconnecting all direction finding and radar stations with a dedicated radio network using repeaters. Ladies and gentlemen, actions by infantry, armor, artillery, engineers, and even services are physically visible and tangible, whereas controlling and exploiting the electromagnetic spectrum is hardly visible and the tangibility could only be assessed with special equipment. Although the humanitarian operation is over, the signalers continue to face the ever-increasing challenges of modern technology, including cyber warfare. At this moment, Sri Lanka Army is in the process of integrating all systems, and within the next few years, it may be possible to fully automate them as of other contemporary armies. Let me conclude with this quote, which we remembered all the time. Thank you very much.